Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Box of the Technical Trader at techtrader.com. It's Saturday, July the 15th. This is the weekend webinar and another eventful week. And if you look at the count on the S&P, I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the fifth wave, but we have 1, 2, 3, and 3 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm looking at this as maybe the top of the fourth wave consolidation on an upward slant. Now, we may need to come down and test that zone, but eventually we could see 46 or even more. The thing is that the market obviously is getting into not only a overbought territory, but it's also, and I wouldn't say extremely overbought because the oscillators aren't there, but the reason why the oscillator isn't extremely overbought has to do with advanced declines in up-down volume, which are lagging and perhaps causing some negative divergences, which we are aware of. If you can see the angle here showing a connection of all these peaks in here, it kind of matches that too. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 at the top of the fifth wave, lateral resistance. There's a lot of reasons why the market could turn down here, but momentum has not been broken despite the pullback or slight pullback on Friday of about 1/10 of 1% in the S&P. Well, let's take a look at the Nasdaq 100. That's really moved ahead, and it's been moving ahead and leading the market because of the big move in some of the Nasdaq generals, which are big percentage too of the indices. So I'll be showing you those in a few minutes, but I wanted to show you the massive triple bottom breakout, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave little corrective flag, another breakout, a retest of the prior high, and then stair step your way higher. In essence, it's a long 1, 2, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but the fifth wave may not be done either. And 17,000 maybe in play, or at least 16.9, 16.8, something like that. It's a tough call, and I'm also concerned at the time of year where typically semiconductors and tech stocks in the summer months, July, August, have a tougher time. We'll see. Right now, momentum is still on our side. Transportation index showing at resistance, but we did get the breakout of the wedge that we talked about 3 weeks ago, and it's been running up ever since. Nominal new high, the highest level we've seen since last April. 15-month high in the transportation as well. But there's a triple top up there. Now that would be my target, but that comes in much higher at about 16.6 roughly. What about the small caps? Well, they're finally starting to play catch up. As you can see, since May, this has gone from 168 to 192, a pretty substantial move. And there is a double top and key resistance right about the 200 range. Right now we're at 191, and we backed off 190, Thursday's high 193.68. So indeed, we've broken out and we pulled back a little bit, but I'm not sure we're done yet. Momentum could still carry us further, and we'll see if 200 is a target or not. Look at the oscillator, which again is not going to reflect where the market is, in my opinion. The McClellan oscillator is showing that we are overbought to a certain extent, meaning we reached the bottom of that range, 150 to 180 up to 220 that we get overbought. This is the lowest. This would be the lowest overbought region of the last 4 since November of last year, where we reached 240, 210, and 190. This time only reaching on Wednesday, 161. So it's not extremely overbought. We pulled back quite a bit on Friday as the market dropped. This thing dropped back 71 points, 73 points from 93 to 40 before finishing at 60. So I'll have to see what that means right now, but we have pulled back dramatically, and we may be starting some sort of new pullback in the markets as well. The VIX obviously hasn't budged much, and even though we had a bounce up to 17, we're right back at 13 range, which is about the lowest we've seen in 3 years. So there's concern this market may be due for a much bigger pullback. And I've noted that on Friday as we saw some pretty negative intraday divergences while the market was up, and sure enough, they rolled them over. Let's look at some of the components, and you'll see why the market's holding up. Apple, which is like 6% of the S&P 500, has gone only from 124 to 194 roughly. So 70 points from January through July, and new all-time highs as well. So that's Apple. Amazon, in an inverted head and shoulders type pattern. The actual neckline was right there. It popped and dropped and then popped back out again. But Amazon's run from the March low when it was 88 to 136 and change. But there is resistance right there, and we'll see if we can get through it. If we do, my target's 146. Google, which wasn't acting great, suddenly surged in the beginning of the fifth wave, it appears. This is a triple bottom base, breakout, wedge, coil, right there, as you can see, and thrust flag, and a beautiful vertical move from Tuesday through Friday when it went from 115.88 to 127. Resistance at this spike high at 129.5. We get through that. We're looking at 137 and 146 as potential targets for Google going forward. NVIDIA, powerful move in a new all-time high, but this may have topped. I don't like anytime I see long uptrend, a spike up, a new high to 480, almost 41, and then a close at 456. That's a bearish negative reversal day potentially, and didn't come on light volume either. So almost 80 million traded on NVIDIA as it reaches up near my target, which was in the 495 range. So right there. That doesn't mean the momentum can't take us to the top of the channel, which right now looks like about 5, 10, 15. So we do get an extension on the market. Look for that. Microsoft, powerful move. Look at this. Now, back in 2021, when it was running, it raised 345. On Friday, we broke through that, tagged 351 and finished at 347-ish. But still, break out of the coil and a little pullback doesn't mean we're done yet. This may be 370 before it's over. Meta's been the monster of the midway. Look at this move. Folks, 88 to 309.10 range, 88 to 314 actually. 88 in November. This is a 300% move on a stock, on a massive major stock like that. Fantastic move. Obviously long in the tooth, and obviously you want to be careful with that. But if momentum carries us forward and we still get a market rally, 345 is my target, maybe more. Tesla, been phenomenal. Just since the low in end of April, we tagged 152 and change. It's gone to 285, 130 points, about 80% in just 2 months. Pretty massive move. Now, we've gotten nowhere near the all-time high, that's for sure. And there's massive resistance at 315 area. So that would be a target if we get an extension of the market for Tesla as well. Now, let's look generally at most of the stocks that we like to review on the Nasdaq 100 generals list, and they make up, just a big percentage of the S&P 500. And that's the reason why, since it's such a narrow move, we have the general market events, although small caps have picked it up in the last couple, 3 weeks, as you saw. So right now, the large caps are holding the market together, but they didn't do very well late in the Friday. We'll have to just see what that means and whether it was just profit taken ahead of the weekend. So the underlying technicals we showed you, and the cloud oscillator and VIX. Let's go to look at some of the ETFs that we follow closely. The 3 major groups that I've always followed are semiconductors, and this hit a new all-time high slightly on Friday, and then reversed, much like we saw with NVIDIA. So 160.7 finished 157. Not a great close, down 120, but 3/4 of 1%. Still a breakout of the coil. Sometimes you get a little retest of the breakout point, then it goes again. My target 164 if that happens. The financials were doing okay, but they had a nasty reversal too, and I just don't like when I see up to resistance and have a massive engulfing reversal. So, Monday, Tuesday, those 2 days, next couple days coming up, really important for me. If they see downside follow through, we could get a pretty nasty market going forward. And I'm concerned, which I voiced on Friday. What about biotechs? Well, the XBI, which had broken out and got to right to the 50-day moving average, backed off. Now, it didn't close poorly, but you're getting down to 83.33, finished 84.63, only down a nickel. Pretty flat. So I'm looking for this to get through 85.40 and make a run into the 89.92 zone up there. That's the target if we do break out. If this turns out to be a bear wedge, which it might be right there, we're going to get another leg down. It'll probably be down there 78, 79. So I'm concerned, indeed. And finally, Biotech's XBI. I'm sorry, that is XBI. I wanted to show you LABU. Yeah, there you go. The LABU, similar pattern. I'm just concerned that the patterns I'm seeing, which are below the moving averages, could turn out to be bear wedges and indicative of a market that's coming lower, or a big falling wedge developing. But we may have to test lower levels, at least in a 1, 2, 3. So you see my concern about what's going on. Let's look at some of the other ETFs we follow closely. Gold's making a move, a nice pop and breakout above not only trend line, declining top lines and moving averages, but at lateral resistance here. The GDX did back off a tad Friday, but I tell you what, a move above 32.5 would get me interested for at least another point to 2 points more quickly for some of the gold ETFs like that, and the JNUG, which also popped out, but has to get through resistance there, 39.5. And in the silver sector, AGQ, massive gap, break through 2 moving averages and a trend line. And so this 1, 2, 3, 4 falling wedge looks like it's reversed, and silver and gold have made a big move. So those are the ETFs we follow closely, but there are a couple of those I want you to take a look at. Nat gas, first of all, the bear nat gas, KOLD, is near the upper end of the range. It's the highest level we reached since April, indicating more pressure on natural gas. The UNG, which went trying to rally and break out of a base, formed a double, triple top up here. So until I see UNG go over 780.85, I'm still skeptical about nat gas making a much bigger move. Oil, well, bad day on Friday. Even though oil showed a breakout, or the USO, Gusher did, I should say, and the USO showed breakouts, slightly breakouts on the trend line on the USO, but a pullback indeed. So this is going to be critical to see where oil goes next, and the resistance is 73 on USO. And then again, back to Gush for a minute, resistance is 138 and then 154. We'll see what that means. Overall, though, we're still in a downward sloping pattern, or at least some sort of coiling pattern on Gush. And if Gush ever breaks underneath 98, 99, that's where this thing really gets ugly. So keep your eye on that one. I've got a lot of stocks to cover. So let's go over them. AAOI, what a move. And they smoked it. $1.60 to 11 and change in about 2.5 months. And you can see of late, after the big run up and pullback, and went a leg 1, 2, 3. Leg 4 may be starting, and you could get a fifth into the low teens. Up next is ACAD, which had a monster move on Friday as it exploded for 25% on positive drug news and broke out above all of these tops. Now there's a mid-range target around 36, upper gap fill around 42, 43. ACHR and some of these junior aerospace companies have done great, but this one has already had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way move, and going from 180 to 530. It may be long in the tooth. It may need to pull back some, but it does get momentum. Your target 7.5. How's this chart? ACBA, beautiful base breakout flag, pop flag. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth wave could get you to 22.3. AHR with strong report exploded on Friday and ran 752 or 18%. That was a good day trade, but it's been a great swing for us, having moved from last July in 1 year 6 to 49. AGQ, we just showed you, that's a silver stock ETF. AI, this is going to be an interesting pattern. This is either a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and it has the volume pattern, or it's a bull wedge and we blow out to the upside. If this gets over 43, it could run hard to 49, 55, etc. Keep an eye on this one, but it's very dangerous up here, in my opinion. ALIM, a little junior biotech that broke out on Friday, jumping 61 cents or 18%, now maybe headed up towards 5. AM, which has been in the rising channel, but really slow, has pulled back of late and held above support and at the trend line. But I mean, this is where you stop it, in my opinion, under 13. The target is 17 and 19. AMD looked like it recovered, but then reversed hard with some of the other tech stocks on Friday, jumping from 116 down to 122 down to 115, and finishing on 116, up 8 cents after being up, many points. So negative day for AMD, and long in the tooth in terms of the underlying technical pattern. But this is what it looks like, a nice parallel channel. If this turns out to be some sort of bear channel, it may have a 1, 2, and a 3 down. So I'm concerned that if the market does drop, AMD could be vulnerable back to 100. APP, beautiful rising channel. This is a tech traded swing after it popped and installed, and then retested after reaching the first target, held that gap, and now it's run all the way back up to secondary target across 29. Where can I go from here? Oh, I have a target about 32. ARCT, beautiful base, breakout, 3-wave corrective falling flag, held gap, popped up and through. Now your target's 39. ARLO has been phenomenal since we first jumped on it. This was a base breakout flag and then pop flag and a breakout here, and it kept going and flagged again, and now it's flagging yet again. Looking at the long-term pattern, this is a key resistance level up here. Your next target would have to be a retest of that level, comes in around 11.90.12. Beyond that, there may be a channel top at 14. ATEC's been in a beautiful rising channel from last year when it was 6 all the way into the triple to the 19 range, 1896 to be exact. Doesn't look done to me. Channel top and next target is 22.3. EUR, tech traded swing, popped out a wedge, and when it broke out, we put a swing on it. It went from about 2.5 to 3.5 and pulled back. Next target is 4. BBIO, base, breakout, coil, and then a channel up. Friday exploded for 20%. Volume was strong. The breakout occurred over previous highs. It's into the gap. Your next target, 25. BILL, coming out of a long downtrend, gapped up, flagged, popped again, pulled back in a falling wedge, mini flag and go. Target, it's a more expensive one, but I'm looking at 135 and 150. BTBT, a crypto stock or crypto related stock that traded in January at 53 cents and has made it all the way up to 480. About a 9-fold increase. The channel up indicates it's not done yet. May go if the rest of the crypto stocks continue. We're looking at 6 and 7. CAMT, after a long downtrend, following a big uptrend, performed the base, broke out, retested, and ran up, and then Friday spiked up. Thursday spiked up, sorry, breakout, and Friday it followed through. I think the stock's headed for this double top and a test of 48, my target. CCL, after a beautiful inverse head and shoulder base and breakout, it's gone vertical. 872 over 19 with the target now of 21 and 24. CDLX, now that's a nice inverse head and shoulders. I put a swing on it when I saw the breakout. I think it has a lot more to go. 14.5 and 18.19 are targets. Confluent, nice base is developed. Broke out there, formed a wedge and broke out of the wedge. Next target, 46 and 58. CGNT Cognite popped and pulled back, and I put a swing on it around 4. It's made it up to 6 and pulled back a little bit, but I think if it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, we got one more wave up towards 7. CLS breaks out, multi-year highs. Look at this V bottom, inverse head and shoulder pullback test. Beautiful chart. It broke through key long-term multi-year resistance, and now it's at the highest level we've seen on this one in 18 years. So at this point, I'm looking for movement and higher movement to 1920. CLSK, tech trader swing, popped out, pulled back and wedge, another mini falling wedge, and now the breakout. Just in the last week or so, it's gone from 411 all the way up to 768. My new target is 8 and 9. Core exploded from the May low, 26, reached 2 weeks ago, 60. Sharp pullback to the breakout point here, and then the reversal had me interested. Any move above Tuesday's high, About 53 and change. Could get us back to 60, 61 or more. Caribou exploded, and we nailed that one too. That was a nice trade for us. But Friday's secondary announcement threw it for a loop, knocked it back to key support around 6, and needed the hold right there and come back up again. Your targets are 7.5 and 8.5. Carvana's been great for us this year. First breaking out here and running right to the target zone and pulling back and forming a core before breaking out and flagging and doing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wonderful move. It's taken this from 670 to 44.64. The pullback Friday is not concerning to me, although it's overbought and may pull back further. Eventually, this could be in mid to high 60s, 50s, and then or more. DraftKings Tech Trader swing broke out of the base, ran up and flagged from the ascending bull coil here, broke out and ran up again, and now I'm looking for 34. Elon coming out of an inverse head and shoulders after testing the moving averages, which we're crossing over. This one's going. But for me, a breakthrough here, and we're headed to 14. ELTK has been a monster since May when it exploded up from under 4 and got up to 11, nearly tripled, so it's resting. But Friday's engulfing reversal are promising enough to where I'm looking for 11 and 12. ENVX also broke out, wedged, popped out and flagged, and then took off. It's moved recently from 12.5 to 21.75, so a little long in the tooth. But if it does extend and has momentum enough to get there, 26.575 is your next target. ETHE, a crypto-related stock with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave decline, and then a V bottom with platform, and then a retest. Popped up and wedged, and then broke out Thursday. Friday was kind of a pullback day, but I think the stock has legs to get up to 15 if crypto stocks cooperate. So ETNB, a stock that has gone from last May's $2 low to this June's 22.93 high. A tenfold increase, and now pulling back. And some of the technicals have deteriorated, and the stock is drifting lower. So I think the important level to watch in this one is going to be right about there. We do not want it under 17, where there's also a moving average. Extreme Networks, long 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and the fifth wave is underway with a potential momentum extension target of 36. That's a long way from here. Finger was a great swing for us as it popped, pulled back. I gave you a swing at 209 and ran to 7 plus 716 and pulled back. Inside day Friday, though, I don't think it's done. I think we're going to 910. For solar, continues as the leader in the solar group. Not really doing that much of late, but I'm saying that should get above Friday's high, above 200. We might see 210.12 and 230.33. GAMB. Nice base and maybe breaking out, but targets now at 13 and 17. GBTC, another crypto-related 5-wave decline, pop wedge and pop falling wedge, maybe in a different mode, but I'm looking at it this way. I think the stock has legs to get into the mid to high 20s. GCOS, beautiful base, breakout, flag, and pop. Extension target 88. GREE, big move last week, week and a half. First popping from 155 and then pulling back, and then going from 240 to 9. That's a big move. Target is 12.13 if it goes. Immunogen, pop, flag, we put a swing on it, it's extended. It now has a large 1, 2, 3, 4 with a fifth wave target of 25.6. IMNM, base and a breakout and now a pullback. The ideal scenario, in my opinion, a low volume pullback after a breakout like that tells me we go higher. At least it looks like it might. 10, 12, and 14 are targets. IMBT, one of my big picks for the year. It ran hard and it's gone from 11 to, since I picked it, to 24. This recent pullback snapped back out on Friday, so I don't think this one's done at all. Matter of fact, right now, here's my new angle. I think at some point, the stock could be substantial. Looking for a retest initially, 24, and then we're looking at 29. INMD broke out this week, and inside day Friday, I'm looking for an extension at 48 and 55. Nice pattern. Intel popped out, pulled back in a wedge, popped again, needs to get above here. Watch it carefully. Above 34.30 is where I think we read 37.5 and 41. IONQ, beautiful pattern with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a flag and a pop. Another flag. They're stair-stepping on their way higher in this one, but it needs to get back over 1536. Target 17.5, 18, and 22, 22.5. IoT, multiple waves up, currently wedging. Looks like it's going to take a shot at 31, 32, and then go to high 30s. Joby's been a great swing for us as it broke out. We put a swing on it around 5 3/4 to 6. It popped to 8, pulled back to 6 1/4, and then went vertical to 11, almost 12, 11.98. Now the pullback. Let it back and fill in here for a bit, but I think the next step is 14.50. Copen, long base, explosive 150% move from 1 to 2.5. And now a beautiful coil or wedges formed that tells me if it pops and breaks out again, once it gets to 2.5, targets 3 1/4 and 4.5. LSPD tech trader swing popped out. We put a swing and backed off to test the moving average and then stair step its way higher. My targets are 20 and then 25. LUNR popped and pulled back. I'm not sure why this is on the list. It wasn't meant to be, but we'll keep an eye on that one. Mara, well, crypto stocks have had a great run, but look at the steady 3-week run up. It's taken it right to my target zone in the 19 area. It hit tagged on Friday, 1988. Now, if it gets to here, which is big resistance, you might very well have this stock extending to the high 20s. MGNI, long decline, pop, pull back, broke out again, wedge, flagged, and now it's broken out of everything at the highest level since the beginning of 22, a 1.5-year high. Next target, 19, 18.5, 19. MRAM, running, broke out, stair stepping, wedging, etc. 11 and 12 3/4 are targets. MRUS, rising channel biotech, some key resistance up here. I think it may test that at the 29.31 zone. NERV broke out of a base, flagged, held at 50, breakaway gap, little falling wedge, and then there she goes. 15.5 and 19 are targets. NNOX, good swing for us as it popped, pulled back. We put a swing on it and ran hard. And from about 9 3/4 all the way to 23, I think it was, 22.35. Then pulled back in a falling wedge, is trying to break out. This needs to get above 17, 17.25. If it does, I'll look for again 21.2 and then 28.9. Nutanix, I like the overall chart. I like the company. It just broke out Thursday. This is a new tech trader swing. It should be. If it isn't, I'm going to put that out there. The targets are 30.5 and 33. NVIDIA, a tech trader swing since it broke out back in May, about 395. Made it all the way to 480 and backed off quite a bit on Friday. Maybe a reversal. Time to take some profits. NVTS Navitas, long decline, reversed, retested, popped out, retested. It's been stair stepping its way higher with the target now at 12.5 and 14. OPK broke out and now it's wedging. I think it gets back to 2.5 3/4 first target. Beyond that, I think we could see 3.5 and 3.75. Let's look for 2 3/4 and 3.5 on that one. OPRA, maybe the star of the year, but boy, did it get whacked on Friday. All of that run up, and I mean this thing went from 4 to 28.5 on Friday, got crushed back to 19, down 8 7/8. So that one's done for now. OPRX, I like the inverse head and shoulder forming. It's a new tech trader swing. I think it cracks 15 3/4. You're going to see 18, 19, then 22, 23. OSCR exploded out, pulled back, popped with a big breakaway, and then stair stepped its way higher. My next target is 10. Overstock broke out. We put a swing on it. It went vertical from the low 20s to the low 30s, pulled back to test the gap, held it, and now it's moved up again before backing off the recent high. So we got a double top up about 32.5 3/4. Gets through that, 36 and 38 are targets. PDFS is beautiful software stock. It's been a long rising channel with a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5th wave on the way. I would think maybe is a possibility we get low to mid 50s on. Perion, great for us over the last few years, and I had from originally given to you at 5 3/4. Well, it made it into the 40s at 42 3/4, and then pulled back. It broke out again this week, Keep an eye on it. It's consolidating in here. You may see 44, you may see 54. PESI with a strong surge, taking it from 3.25 all the way to 12, quadrupling, then pull back hard. But it bounced, and now it's in a falling wedge. Here's the bottom line on this one. Needs to hold it, snap back, and take out resistance. Targets 12.5, 14. Palantir breaks out of a base, breakaway gap, little pullback, and a strong run before a wedge formed and it broke back out. Once you get above 17, we're looking at 20 and 24. PPSI, strong breakout of a base, a beautiful coil, a pop, little mini pennant, and then a flag, and then a pop. Finally pulls back the test and bounces again. Target 12. PRFX with an explosive pop, pullback pop, did not hold the gains as it pulled way off of the 1681 range, finished at 753, which was still up 30%. Nevertheless, dangerous stock to look at, but it has a lot of whipsaw momentum. QBTS popped when I saw this coil, and I saw it coming out of it. I put a tech trader swing on it. Well, from the 219 range, it made its way to 280, but it really got hurt bad on a big pullback late Friday, as you can see here, only to try to stabilize. Let's see if this one has any upside follow through or not. Key resistance now is certainly the 268 to 270s, 280 zone. Target is 3.5, 3/4, and 5. QTRX, nice base, breakout, retest, stair step your way higher, pull back and retest again, hold the moving average, and then break out before a little pullback. My target's at 30 and 36. Roblox breaks out on Tuesday and back to fill a little bit this week. I wasn't happy with the lack of follow through, but my target's 47.5. Redfin, with a lot of the real estate services firms doing very well. This one has moved from the March low, but it was trading at 3, all the way up to 17.5, more than 5-fold increase. And my target now is 23. Rivian, great swing for us. It popped, I think the day before he gapped, I gave you a swing on it in the 16s, and it went vertical to 26 and change before flagging in the air. Should this get above 26 and change, we might see 30 and even 33. Rambus, long rising channel. The semiconductor stock is at all-time highs. Now coiling, it may be set for a run to the low 70s. Ryovan, one of my top picks of the year, consolidated for most of the first and even second quarter before the big breakout last week. It's taken us all the way up to almost 13. From the $6 range it was at in March, and the $8 range it was at just 2 weeks ago. My target, 16 and 20. Roku, long downtrend, B bottom with a platform, breakout, retest, wedge, and then pop again this week before the back off on Friday. It's resistance here, but should you get through, 88 is your target. So RX exploded, had an inside day, and then tried to break out Friday, but backed off again. Net, it was down 55 cents, but it's in a wedge pattern. Keep your eye on this one. If it breaks out, we're looking at 16, 17. RXST, thinly traded, but a huge move. It's seen to go from the December low under 10 to 33. And right now, breaking out of a flag on Friday, it jumped another 215. Momentum could carry this into the high 30s pretty quickly. SLNO, pop was in December. The coil was through March, and then it broke out and ran up all the way up from under 2 to 6 and change, tripling before the pullback. Now it's going yet again in what might be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way move that gets you to 7, 7.5. SMCI, been a monster. We've been following this since it was in the high 40s and 50s, and here it is 300 and still running. SNAP, base breakout, put a swing on it, it backed off, but I think it makes it to 15 and 16.5, 17. So 5 breaking out of a beautiful long base, popped and formed the wedge, and then broke out, but it's got kind of a flag here. What it really needs is a move above 9.5 to get you to test 10 1/4, then 12 and 14. SSYS is going to be taken over, that's for sure. And we first gave this to you when it popped in the 15s here. It's now in the low 20s, and I'm thinking we get 24.5 on a takeout. Tabula popped here. We put a swing on it. It worked. We put another swing on it. It's been coiling for a while before it did break out Friday. My target's 465 and 5 3/4. Technical Glass broke out last November. We put a swing on it, and it's been going ever since from 30 to 53 and still going, targeting mid 50s, low to mid 60s. TOST breaks out at the top of the channel, near lateral resistance, but should this get through, 30 is your target. Be careful on that one. Uber, been looking great. Large move coming. It came on this one from the lows last year in the 1920 zone. It's made it into the mid 40s. My target 49.50. UIS popped. We put a swing on it. It's made it up a little bit higher. My first target is 6. My second target is 8. Looking good, much better. Note the long-term declining top line broken. Upstart, base, breakout, and strong rising channel, and it doesn't look done, does it? My targets are 53 and 59. Verica, one of my picks from earlier this year, I believe this is on my top 25 list. Well, anyway, it broke out and pulled back, and that's flagging. Target 8.5 and 11. BRT, very strong, broke out above everything, and now it's made it to my target and resistance near 28.9. Be careful up here because it's moved from literally in April when I was trading down about 12 to 29. So it may be in need of a pullback since it has key resistance here. Be a little dangerous. WEAV, weave, broke out of a base, flagged, popped, now it's flagging again. My target's 13.5. WFRD took all year to consolidate. Well, it finally broke out in the last week and a half. I think now we're headed much higher. It's one of those stocks that could be, 70, 80, 90. It's already 74, 80, 90, 100. Weight Watchers popped. We put a swing on it. It ran right to the target and back to the falling wedge and broke out again. But this time it's backed off yet again. Careful here, but I think if it backs and fills a little bit, this may break out and be 10.5, 11. XPO Logistics, my favorite transportation company, broke out. Flagged, popped, has now got a rising flag. This is new all-time high territory, folks. And in the course of things, I would think that mid to high 70s might be doable along, and over the next few weeks. And that is it for my longs. And I'm going to pass on the shorts for this weekend. I have a lot of work to do to give you a whole list of new shorts. This is HB signing off. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy.